told me last Sunday, oh my gosh, I was running away. I was telling everyone to do it, but God has chosen me today. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Okay, my exhortation today that I'm going to exhort about is do not fear. The world is going crazy. The world is going maniac because of this coronavirus and everything that we go through. We fear. We're wrestling with fear every day of our lives, right? Why do we fear? Some points that I'm going to point to you is why we fear is because fearing we're not going to get married, fearing that we won't have a boyfriend, fearing that we won't get a job, fearing that we won't get a nice car, fearing that we cannot pay our bills on time, fearing that we can't live the life that we want to live. But God did not give us the fear. But in 2 Timothy 1, chapter 1, verse 7, it says, "Rest assured, always remember that God does not give you the fear, but one of power, love, and sound mind." Amen?
Amen.
Hallelujah. Okay. Why we shouldn't fear? Fear not because God will help you. Fear not because God will strengthen you. Fear not because God is always with you. And God will support you with His victorious right hand. Amen?
Amen.
I went through the internet like this whole week. This is the most time, to be honest, this is like the most I've read the Bible in 1 week because exhortation. You know, that's my fear, reading. I don't like to read, but God is gave me this for a reason. Amen. So I located a survey on the internet, showing that number one fear among ages under 35 is the fear of failure. Don't we fear of failure every time, right? I know. Okay, second fear of young adults is fear of disappointing, a fear of rejection, and the fear of living meaningless lives. Is that true? Older adults fear of financial fears. I'm not old yet, but that's what you guys fear, so God will provide. Amen? They also fear because of the health concerns and losing the people they love from the spirit of death. All our lives we are wrestling fear, but remember we need to keep moving because if we stay in fear, we'll be paralyzed in fear. Amen? We need to keep moving by rebuking the spirit of fear, trying to bind us to reach our full potential here on earth. And most importantly, the number one is to serve Him. Please tap your seatmate and say, "Fear not, because God is with you." Amen? I just want to, so God gave me this message just last night. I was preparing the whole of this week, and then suddenly God reminded me Jehoshaphat when he feared because of the thousands of multitude going to war against him. Let's go to, where is it? 2 Chronicles 20, chapter 20, verse 1. Just read it. Verse 3, sorry. Verse 3. Verse 3. And Jehoshaphat feared and set himself to seek the Lord and proclaim the fast throughout all Judah. Next one, please. So Judah gathered together to ask from the Lord, and from all the cities of Judah they came to seek the Lord. And it says back here, I just want to talk about Jehoshaphat's life. He was a good king. He reigned over Judah for 25 years. During that time, the nation was oriented towards God. However, earlier in this stage, he and the nation faced a huge challenge, and it's in detail in 2 Chronicles 20, verse 1 to 30, what we're reading right now. A number of surrounding nations made an alliance and came together to wage war against Judah. The nation, including the king, was gripped by fear. So let's read verse 12. It says, sorry. I'm lost, sorry. And Jehoshaphat, God reminds us in verse 15 and verse 17, do not be afraid. It is it's a reminder in the Bible mentioned around 366 times. That's one do not fear each day. Amen. Sorry. I read verse 12. O our God, will you not judge them? For we are powerless before the great multitude who are coming against us. Nor do we know what to do, but our eyes are on you. Can we see here? Even when Jehoshaphat feared, and a great multitude is coming against them, Jehoshaphat still puts his eyes onto God. So every now and then, we go through transitions in life, trials in life, and we fear things that we're not going to go along our way. We always seek our eyes on Lord, on God, right? Amen. And it says here, verse 15. And he said, listen, all Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem and King Jehoshaphat. Thus says the Lord, do not fear or be dismayed because of this. Do not fear or be dismayed because of this great multitude. For the battle is not yours but God's. Amen? Amen. So everything that we go through life, every trials and transitions that we go through, always remember that God is in control of the situation. Amen? Amen? Because if we stay in the fear, we'll be paralyzed and we cannot move. And we're gonna be paralyzed and cannot move and do nothing. So that's why you need to rebuke the spirit of fear, because fear is not from God. Sorry. Tomorrow go down against them. Behold, they will come up in the accent of Ziz, if I'm saying correctly, and you will find them at the end of the valley in front of the wilderness of Jeruel. You need not to fight in this battle station. Station yourselves. Stand and see the salvation of the Lord on your behalf of Judah and Jerusalem. Do not fear or be dismayed. Tomorrow go out to face them, for the Lord is with you. Look here. I've never in my life watched a war movie when someone from heaven told me the plan. The Lord is planning. This is the battle plan that the Lord gave them. He told them the plan details. He essentially says, you need to go to this place. They will come from a particular direction, and you will find them. You will need to fight. You will not need to fight. This is one thing that I love. A huge army has amassed in order to fight Judah, and the nation is told to go and take a look at them, but they won't need to fight. This strategy isn't detailed in any war movie that I've watched. Right? All the movies I watch in the war, we don't see people just going to look at the army and do nothing. But God, it says here that do not fear or be dismayed because of the great multitude, for the battle is not yours but God's. You need not to fight in the battle station. You need not fight in this battle, but station yourselves, stand and see the salvation of the Lord on your behalf. So every time that we go to war against things that don't go as planned, always remember that God is with us, and God is fighting for us, and God is on our behalf. Amen? Because he says, do not fear or be dismayed. Tomorrow go and face them, for the Lord is with you. The final part of Jehazel's prophetic word is that tomorrow, after a good night's sleep, they are to go out against the enemy, and God will be with them. This is ultimately is why the people of God have nothing to fear. Amen? Their God is with them. This promise is not time limited and is not conditional. The people of God have God with them at all times. This is restated by Jesus when just before he ascends to heaven, he announces to his disciples, "I am with you always, even to the end of the age." Amen. The rest of 2 Chronicles chapter 20 describes what happens the next day. In short, God did what he said he would. The enemy were defeated without Judah needing to fight, and the nation were saved by their mighty God. Amen? That's a miracle, right? You go to war and you don't fight, you just stand there, and it's thousands of multitudes, and you just stand there, and God wins the war for you. Amen? So don't think, remember how powerful God is. I have a verse here. Oh, I think I deleted it. Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, but Almighty is our God, right? Fair enough.
Amen.
Okay, I'm sorry. What followed was peace of Jehoshaphat and the nation. In verse 30. But that only came about when a desperate king led his people to seek God's face, and then listen when God spoke through the Spirit-filled Jehaziel. So we see here in Chronicles, 2 Chronicles, verse 21 to 30, that when Joseph feared, he faced unto God. He bowed. Everything that we fear, he's an example what to do. He fasted and he prayed on his knees and praised God with a loud voice. Amen? We are always wrestling with fear. We don't not to be paralyzed with fear. Fear is a master weapon in the enemy's hand. This defies God's promises in your life. It comes to stop your advancements with God, but as Christians, we all have the authority to rebuke the spirit of fear when it rises. Amen? But remember, God did not give us fear because fear is not from God. Okay, now I'm everywhere. So what I learned from here, from King Jehoshaphat, is we are not alone. So anything that we go through in life, do not be fearful, because God reminded us in the Bible nearly 400 times. So today, when you face the spirit of fear, rebuke it straight away, because it is not from God. Amen? Amen. Like, look at the people fighting over tissue paper. It's ridiculous, right? Like, they think that will save their lives. They don't have hope. The only hope is tissue paper. That's true. They don't have hope. They go to tissue paper because everyone's doing it. They're just sheep going astray. That they're just following because people are buying toilet paper. They're just following them. But we have our hope is our hope in Jesus. Amen. We have God, and that's the only one that we face too. In trials of fears and trials of everything that we face this year, that we go coronavirus, we continue to pray for the rebuke of fear, the rebuke of viruses in this church and this family. Amen. That's my exhortation. Thank you.